Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in this video, I wanted to make a more relaxed video, speaking on a few points. So this will be a longer video, so make sure you guys grab your popcorn, drinks, snacks, whatever it is. And let's get right into it. So before I start off this video, I just want to let you guys know at the very beginning, for those of you who missed it or didn't see it, Mike Sievert, the CEO of T-Mobile, just renewed his contract for another 5 years. So he will remain the CEO of T-Mobile for at least the next 5 years coming up. So I just wanted to get that out the way right off the bat so you guys are aware of this, that he is going to remain as the CEO of T-Mobile. So we did have some changes inbound quite early on, right in February. If you guys remember, Neville Ray is going to retire this fall, and Ulf Edvardson is going to take over his position. Now, that's just a very minor change. I don't see much changing on the network front. Ulf has been in charge of that whole modernization process, so don't see much changing there. Now, what I wanted to talk about and point out, right, some of the problems that T-Mobile is having right now, right? Breaches, maybe, not really tracking fixed wireless access as good as they should because it's being sold to addresses where it's not available anymore. This may come off as bad when I say this, but these are good problems to have. And let me further explain why I maintain that position. So T-Mobile is now very close to heading into their 3rd year anniversary after the merger closed. So this team that's in place now, this leadership team, has never operated a company of the size that T-Mobile is today. They are now much bigger, much more customers, much larger network, right? Neville recently announced, again, this came from Neville himself, that he now covers a larger service area versus Verizon. Now, I don't believe that he's doing that natively. I'm about 99.9% sure that comes with roaming. Right, there's no way he's natively all of a sudden covering a larger service area that his customers connect to with a native network. That's not happening, not yet anyway, but he announced that very recently. And I did see some of the internal documents that I received that they've been signing on to a lot more roaming partners across the US where they've had either weak or no service at all. Rather that be AT&T, US Cellular, Viero. I mean, they've just been signing larger footprints. It's not the best connection. We know that. There's a limit. It's slow speed, but at least you might be able to send a text or make a call in case you have an emergency. But that's pre-SpaceX, so keep that in mind, or pre-Starlink. He did mention that, so keep that in mind. But again, they're running a much larger operation. So they're running through a lot of what I call trial and error that's going to eventually mature. It's going to take them some time, but eventually the company overall is going to mature, and all of that should run and operate much smoother in the coming years. Right? I don't want to put a target on that. I don't know how long it's going to take T-Mobile to mature as this bigger company, but they've been making great progress. Right? They have to fix this security issue. That's one. They got to do that, right? They got to monitor, in my opinion, fixed wireless access much better. I think they should have geographic locking to where it's specifically put at your address. If you move outside of that address, it's blocked, it's locked, it no longer works. I truly believe that needs to happen. That helps the network as well, right? You have to monitor this usage because it generates much higher usage than your network is used to from the mobile user. So you gotta keep that in mind as T-Mobile matures and they hit that 3-year mark starting in April of this year. So that's the first point that I wanted to talk about. And Secondly, as T-Mobile matures, I think that's going to be when Verizon and AT&T really run into problems. That competitively, I think that's when they really run into problems. As T-Mobile grows its retail distribution, right? They have to hire new people. Yes, there's going to be some movement in terms of relocation. Some store managers that have been with the company might relocate, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot of new blood that they're going to have to train. So overall, if you're looking at it overall, they're going to have to mature as a company, right? The store reps have to mature, the managers have to mature. In some cases, district managers, area managers, they're going to have to all mature to get that train, really moving in the right direction. I'm not saying it's not, but to really get that pushing in the right direction and stay on track, right? They're posting great numbers now, but I think the numbers that they're going to post in the future are going to be that much better. Not saying that they're going to have another explosion of volume of growth. They've been growing at great volumes, but higher percentage of Magenta Max sales as those store reps mature, right? More add-ons, more smartwatches being sold, more fixed wireless access coming along, better ARPU, better ARPA. All of that is going to be a result of them maturing as a company. And then as well, of course, the network is going to mature, right? Engineers are dealing with much larger footprints, much more towers than they've ever dealt with. Yes, the basics really don't change, but it's a lot more to handle for that engineering group per a certain region, right? So they have to optimize. They're growing into a larger scale network that they've never operated before, so they gotta take that into consideration and factor that in as well. So that's all a part of the company maturing as they head through, now the rest of this decade, right? They are the 5G leader. That's really a story and an identity that they've put out into the market, and I think it's a great identity for them to have best value, best network, and that's what they're going to lead moving forward. That's what they're going to lead with. You're going to start seeing that plastered all over national advertising. You're going to start seeing that plastered all over billboards. Best value, best network, right? And to briefly touch on Verizon, I think that's one important factor that they lack. They lack identity right now, right? The only identity that's kind of known to the market is that they have the most premium and best network. But I don't know these current times that we're dealing with in the economy, I don't know if that's the best identity to have. So T-Mobile coming in saying we're the best value, we have the best network, the best 5G, the best largest 5G network. I think it's going to resonate so well that Verizon and AT&T are going to have to fundamentally shift their operations, right? The strategy under Hans currently is premium, premium, premium. We want to be looked at on revenue, not on growth, right? And I don't foresee that changing under him. There's going to have to be new leadership coming in at Verizon to really change that trajectory and really move, Verizon in a different direction to really compete. And AT&T as well. Although AT&T competes better right now, they got FirstNet, larger native service area as claimed by them. They have, respectable, reasonable pricing, much easier access, I'm told, to discounts. They got FirstNet. So all of that is more competitive against T-Mobile than Verizon against T-Mobile. And keep in mind, AT&T is really doing that still without any perks, right? They dropped HBO Max. There's rumors it's coming back. Hasn't came back yet. So they're doing all this growth without perks. Now, as T-Mobile, this is where I think the problem comes in. As T-Mobile continues to mature, right? They're gonna keep doing the trial and error. They're gonna keep pushing out marketing. That's who they are. That's their DNA. As that resonates more and more with the base, as that resonates more and more with consumers across the United States, their churn is going to get better and better and better on a quarterly basis. We've seen that since the start of 2020, since the merger closed. T-Mobile's churn has gotten better and better and better. And that was mostly the Sprint base. I know they're a combined company, but they said the Magenta base was already churning at all-time history low numbers. They're starting to get that Sprint base lower and lower and lower. Like I said, as T-Mobile matures, as the billing, all that gets integrated and they start moving the Sprint base, it's going to happen. I know you don't like it. As they start moving them over to the Magenta plans, they start giving them, and it's already happening now, and they start enrolling them into Team of Experts. As more Team of Experts become stateside again, the churn is going to get better and better and better. It's because T-Mobile's customer service focus is really embedded in the company, and Mike Sievert is staying around for another 5 years. That churn is going to get very low at some point, right? It's probably, I think, once it's matured, I think they're going to get into that 0.67, 0.68% churn. Maybe 0.7 if it is a bad quarter once or twice. But I don't think we're going to see the 0.8s or the 0.9s unless they self-inflict, unless they just, hey, new and existing customers, you're all getting a price raise, taxes and fees come back. Then I could see an explosion of churn. But I'll report on that as we go along throughout this journey with T-Mobile. So that's kind of the point that I wanted to take in this relaxed video. Just kind of wanted to show you guys, okay, yes, there are some changes coming. Mike Sievert is staying for 5 years. He's at the helm. So he controls the strategy and the direction. So for the next 5 years, the direction of T-Mobile should be exactly what it is now. There shouldn't be any change of direction. The run rate of CapEx should remain at the 9 to 10 billion unless they see something that they can accelerate on. And even then, I don't see it be a huge explosion. Maybe they go to 11 to 12 billion, maybe 13 max again. But I don't see that happening for at least a few more years because they're like I said, they're hitting their stride. They're hitting their run rate now. They're outside of the larger merger integration. And now, like I said, they're getting ready to mature as a company. The leadership's starting to get more comfortable, I'm told. The moves that they're making, the trial and error, right? T-Vision was a trial and error, a big one that failed, but they're continuously trying to grow, and trial and error is helping them become a more mature company. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Just wanted to leave that with you guys today. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.